All right, for this one, they're giving a sine and they're asking us for tangent. And you can see they've got these negatives in here. Just there's no question we're going to use these even odd properties. So we prefer not to have that thing, so we can use this property to get rid of it. We don't mind the negative outside, so let's change that. This thing tells us that sine of a negative x is the same, can be replaced with negative sine of positive x. Sine of negative x can be replaced with negative sine of positive t, which means sine of t will equal negative 2/3. And sine and cosine are like the most fundamental of the 6 trig functions. So if we can get those two, we can figure out all the rest. So let's focus on that. To calculate cosine based on sine, I need an equation that has sine and cosine in it, which is right there. Pythagorean. So I'm going to replace that sine squared with my value for sine. And that's sine squared equals 1. Now I can simplify all this and figure out what cosine is. So it's cosine squared x equals, this will be 4/9 positive, and then I'll move it to the right. It'll be 1 minus 4/9. It's 5/9. Then I square root. And don't forget the plus or minus. I'm going to get plus or minus root 5/9, which will be root 5/3. Now how do I choose plus or minus? Well, they restricted us to a certain quadrant, the third quadrant. So I know now I can choose, do I want positive or negative? Is cosine positive or negative in this quadrant? Since cosine is horizontal, cosine is the x coordinate, or however you want to think about it, but cosine is negative in this quadrant. So that means I can get rid of the positive. So for us, cosine is negative root 5/3. And for tangent, I also want to get rid of that negative, so I come over here. In tangent's case, also it becomes just negative tan of regular old t, positive t. And then since tangent is sine over cosine, I can replace sine with negative 2/3 and replace cosine with negative root 5/3. I could cancel those negatives and then flip and multiply. Those 3's cancel, you get negative 2/root 5. I'm sure you're supposed to rationalize that. So negative 2 √5/5 is the final answer for tan negative t.